Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is the Capcom Show. Alright, welcome back.
Yep, it's been a long, like almost 2 months. It feels like.
The month and a half I feel like.
And I hate it because last time we were here, we were talking about the same situation that we're actually going to be spending almost at least 2 hours talking about. We might have a part two coming. We might just split it up into two parts.
Last time we were talking about the George Floyd protest, I'm pretty sure.
Now we're talking about Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're basically.
We also talk about the black bagging and everything that they're doing out in
Portland.
Too.
In Portland,
and all about Portland
I haven't followed that, honestly.
The autonomous zone. It's from what I understand, it died down. I think that the riots are still going on, but it's the new normal over there. So people are just like
the new normal.
People are just like, gotta go to the groceries. I gotta fucking take that detour, otherwise I might catch a Molotov. I can't fucking do this shit.
Decisions.
It's just a normal war zone over there, and they're just like, I fucking got it. Life goes on anyway. Right? So when I already thought the Second American Civil War was going to be something fucking dope as shit, I didn't think it was going to be people buying groceries in the middle of a fucking war zone. But here we are. So
yeah, we'll see. It'll probably kick off once the election hits, because that's another thing we got to talk about is the country going to even last after the election?
I'm giving it a solid 2 years.
It's just been fucking downhill for decades.
2020 is just life taking a shit on everyone who's an American right now.
Right.
Anyone who's within these borders are just fucking just.
And every other country's just like fucking back in the corner, like, what the fuck is going on over there?
It's like watching a nuclear explosion from 2 feet away
in slow motion.
So, anyway, since we were able to lighten the mood up a little bit, unfortunately, the reason why it took us almost to the end of this month to record is I caught the COVID, so I was out for 2 weeks. I couldn't fucking do anything. It only furthers my whole reaction to just telling people to wear their fucking mask. You don't understand how fucking pissed I was. By day 10 of my isolation, my symptoms were gone. I was like, I feel fine to integrate back in public. I don't have a fucking headache. Yeah, I only had a headache, a cough, and congestion. And it fucking hurt to move because it just hurt to breathe.
It's all inflammation in your chest.
Yeah, it fucking, a lot of things hurt, but I was still able to get up and walk around. The virus isn't as severe if you're healthy, but it's if
you got all these preconceived
pre-existing
conditions. That's what I meant.
That it fucks you up, but it's like, why do you want to stop living your life for 2 weeks because you don't want to be uncomfortable for 2 minutes? And that's what pisses me off about it. I was like, dude, a lot of this could have been prevented if people wore their masks. But here I am, sitting here, not being able to do my fucking job, which I love doing, even though it beats the shit out of me every day I'm there. Because my parents decided to go out with their friends and get infected and infect me with it. So I had to stay away for 2 weeks.
Of course, now COVID's out of the conversation anyway with the riots and the recent shooting, so...
2020, if we're not talking about COVID, we're talking about people burning down buildings. And that's the energy I'm all about up in here. So, anyway, for those of you who have been living under a rock for the past week, Jacob Blake was a 29-year-old African-American man shot and wounded by police on August 23rd, 2020. Now, I consider that an improvement because he's not dead. I don't know why I'm saying that as an improvement. It's honestly kind of tragic that that's an improvement of our public servants not killing someone for once and only maiming him for the rest of his life. He was hit by 4 of 7 shots. Keep in mind, these are blank.
If you see the video, it was basically point blank.
By Officer Rustin Shesky. That is the weirdest white name I've ever seen. I'm not even gonna lie. I was expecting like a Jackson with an X in there, and I got Rustin. Oh.
Special, aren't we?
Oh, special little boy. Are you gonna be killing cops? You gonna kill cops? Shoot someone? Anyway, there was point blank range. Jacob Blake was walking away from the officers who were apparently there to serve a warrant, something. I don't know.
I think they called the cops on him because they wanted him off the property and he didn't want to leave the property, or I don't know. I didn't follow the details too much with this.
Again, with the second story that we have going on tonight, there's a lot of conflicting opinions. One of them is the right factual opinion that's actually people should be going off of, but because it's a racial police brutality subject in 2020, people are going to fucking spew their shit and fucking all over the walls, and people are going to either eat it or disprove it. And that's the world we live in now.
Modern people, they really, anything that ever happens, all they ever really want to do is, how can I use this for my narrative?
Yeah, everyone has an opinion and wants themselves to be right, and they don't want to look at the facts, and that's
it's like
we've gotten ourselves in a society.
In some cases, both sides can be right, and in some cases, both sides can be wrong.
Yes.
So why don't you just fucking look at this shit objectively as possible instead of getting all emotional about it? Even though I understand why people do that.
Yeah.
An
incident occurred in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August 23rd, 2020 as officers were attempting to arrest Blake. During the encounter, Blake was tasered and scuffled with officers. He was shot as he opened the driver's door to his SUV and leaned in. 3 of Blake's sons were in the back seat. And one of the things that pissed me off immediately coming from my side of the compass was, what about his children?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Honestly, I do. I understand that rhetoric. I hate it.
That's another thing too that
the cops probably didn't know, and it's I fucking hate using this because I don't really like Daniel Tosh as a person, but as a comic, he once kind of touched up on this and you should never hit a woman. It's like, well, domestic abuse is never okay, but what happens if she's drowning the third kid and the fourth kid's up next? Do you run over and pop her then? Where's the line? And I get how distasteful that joke is. But it had some truth to it.
There is a level of truth to that. Injustice is injustice. Doesn't matter who's doing it.
Injustice is injustice, yes. If someone was doing something that was either illegal or something was going on, and this is aside from Jacob Blake's case, because he was walking to his fucking SUV after shrugging off a taser. These guys were probably like, what the fuck is going on? He was walking back to his SUV. The cops probably didn't realize that he had his kids in the car. And if they did, they didn't care.
If they did know, then they definitely made another mistake because...
now those kids are going to
traumatized.
Yeah, they're going to grow up traumatized and hating police. They didn't kill Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake is still alive. He's now paralyzed from the race down. And one of the things I do want to mention about the race down thing is he does have a rap sheet. And it's not a good one. It's not one where it's like, oh, it's just like drug possession charges.
No, it's a serious crime.
It's one of the no crimes. It's one of the ones where it's like,
you might get the chipper.
Yeah, it's a wood chipper crime. It's one of the ones where it's like, you are a possible rapist from what I understand. I don't care about you anymore.
He did rape a 14-year-old from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But again, with the whole shooting, everyone's just been
it got drowned out fast.
That shooting is not the one I'm probably going to be focusing on most of tonight because I am very uneducated on that whole thing. And like I said, that's the first time I heard that the cops were actually there for him. A lot of times it's been he was trying to break up a fight, and et cetera, et cetera. My screen just turned off, son of a bitch. Here. Press the button. There we go.
Anyway.
I hate this laptop.
Yeah.
I just said I loved it too off mic. Okay, so... that was on the 23rd of August. As we're recording this, that was 5 days ago.
Hard to believe already.
August 28th is the time we're recording this right now. At exactly 8 o'clock. But, so, what shooting was followed by Kenosha protests, which included rallies, marches, property damage, arson, clashes with police, and a fatal shooting of 2 protesters by an out-of-state armed civilian. Blake's name was invoked in protests in other cities as part of the Black Lives Matter movement, which has seen a resurgence in the wake of high-profile killings by police officers in 2020, namely George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and just a lot of people that those who stand out the most because one of them committed a crime of not knowing that his bill was counterfeit, and was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he committed the crime of complying with police and allowing to be arrested and put it in a cop car, and the police decided, no, kneel on his neck.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him in the car and then fucking pull him right back out and put my knee in his neck.
And Breonna Taylor obviously committed the crime of sleeping while black, and you can't do that in America.
Dude, the amount of fucking bootlickers I've seen just say, oh, well, she had this record because
she was in the house.
She was drugs. Well, all these drugs, and I'm like, okay, but
I don't give a fuck about drug use. I don't. So long as you're responsible with it, you can fucking get high on heroin. I don't give a shit. Just
the thing is,
don't do stupid shit while you're on.
It's all the fucking war on drugs, and that's another thing that hurts minorities the most.
Yep, war on drugs. It's one of the worst fucking things that ever happened in the United States, and this is full swing what we're dealing with right now. It's not the war on terror. It's not Red Scare.
It's like it's now war on police accountable people.
Yeah. Or on people who's like, hey, I pay taxes so these guys can shoot people. Maybe I don't want them to shoot people who may have done nothing wrong.
Hey, can you just like not
Can you fucking not kill people on my paycheck, please?
Can you just not act the Gestapo against minorities? That'd be great.
Right.
That'd be great. Thanks. Nope, too hard for me.
So, anyways, yeah, Jacob Blake may have had a bad record. And I will say, and I have said this, especially in the anarcho-synergist chat, I hate cancel culture for the reason of there's a certain era about it where you can't change.
Yeah.
Like I said in the pilot episode, back years ago I was conservative. I said some stupid things back then. I'm not going to repeat on the open mic. I've justified racial violence and racial profiling for police for my own political. I was ignorant. I was a white ignorant, adult or young adult.
I would say I probably said some shit too in my conservative days.
We've all fucked up. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole part of cancel culture that isn't being talked about is when people come up and say, I fucked up. I said things that I realize now are terrible, and I'm gonna sidetrack here for a second. There was a wrestler. I know you're not a fan of wrestling much, but
no.
I watch it as like a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
From AEW, Sammy Guevara. He's about our age, about early to mid 20s, and when he was trying out for WWE, he said that, and I quote, I wanted to rape Sasha Banks, who was another superstar.
What the fuck? He actually said that?
Yes. And here's the thing. He came out and said that himself and said, I am stopping my appearances in AEW until I feel like I need to go on a break. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm taking this break myself. He decided to say, I said something fucked up. I now know that is something wrong. And I don't want to feel like I'm profiting off of someone else's pain for it. So, he probably had a dialogue on the side with Sasha, with, the personality that he offended. And, he's back wrestling now. He's back. I'm glad he's back. He has a feud with Matt Hardy. It's fucking great. But, again, the entire time I supported him, because he came out, he knew he fucked up.
He better.
And he came out and said, I fucked up. I'm disappearing for a couple months, figuring shit out, and I might come back. And he came back and was like, I fucked up. I get it. The only people that were angry that he was back after saying that were the people who only like WWE. But that's a whole story for another time. Essentially, cancel culture doesn't allow room for growth. And the problem with Jacob Blake is that charge was a long time ago. We don't know if he's changed at all. But
yeah, that's true.
That's beside the point. What my issue has been is telling people for the last week, and I actually made a Facebook post about it. I think you've seen this because I think you liked it. But I said, remember, if you ever get shot by...
everything in your past gets brought up.
You better be a fucking angel because they will dig up anything wrong you did to make it look like you were justified. George Floyd... back in the early 2000s, obviously he was in a bad place, and I mean, if I remember George Floyd's life, he was still young. He was still in his 20s. He had a lot of learning to do, and he probably was a victim of the war on drugs itself ruining his neighborhood.
Yeah, one of the bad things he did, I think, was attack a pregnant woman or something.
Yes, back in 03 or 05, somewhere.
Yeah, it was which obviously that's a long fucking time ago.
That was a long time ago. That was at least 15 years ago from now.
Yeah.
And people were saying, well, he deserved it. No, he didn't. He did not deserve to
if he
be
served out
killed.
His sentence and everything,
he paid his debt to society. Did he do something bad? Yes. Did he probably realize he did something bad as he served his sentence? Yes. There's an entire chance that he was reformed and was like, I fucked up. You can't kill people for
making mistakes in the past.
Making mistakes in the past. I remember I went off in the group chat about this. I
mean, if that's your philosophy, you can kill everyone. We've all done fucked up shit.
We've all done fucked up shit. Everyone is right in their own minds to have reasons for anger and violence. The humane thing is reasons not to act on them.
And teaching people to control them.
Yeah.
And deal with them.
Emotional control is one of the biggest things that anyone can have.
And how to deal with
stress.
Deal with stress. I forget the
conflict.
Conflict resolution.
Yep. De-escalation.
Coping mechanisms. That's a huge thing. That's what I was looking for. That's what needs to be taught. And I'm not talking about just the status school system. I'm talking by parents too.
We need to.
As an entire society.
Yeah, we need to start educating on people. And I said this off mic. I had a couple people, and I called out today a redacted boy, who was defending one of the people that we're
actually, should we just go over what happened and everything first?
Yeah, I'll get to that later because that still ties back in. Like I said, we're gonna be jumping around quite a bit. We're gonna try to stay on topic with our best, but there's
so much to talk about.
Shit happened in the last month, mostly just in the last week. That needs to have a discussion on that. Mm-hmm. It's a long time coming for 2020 to have this discussion, but we need to have this discussion. Not only the two of us and our viewers or listeners, I should say. I guess it would be technically viewers if they're listening on this on YouTube. But we need to have this discussion as a society because this is. I made the joke that 2018 it was the next school shooting. 2020 it's the next black person getting killed by a cop. Yeah. Or shot by a cop, or really? another person getting shot by police. So I'm just gonna go through and run down all the events that have happened from the 23rd to the 26th. So this is all coming from the Wikipedia that they have set up for the Kenosha protests right now. So if you want to fact check me on this, that's where I'm getting my facts from. They have their own citations. You can go through there. I'm not proving all this to be fact. I'm just a messenger. So, okay. August 23rd. A state of emergency was declared for the county starting at 10:15, and garbage trucks were used to block 56th Street. Starting at 11:05 p.m., police began using tear gas and rubber bullets to attempt to disperse crowds, which lasted through the night, as we know that's never a good idea. Near midnight, the crowd lit a small fire in front of a ground floor window on the Kenosha County Courthouse. So they were at the courthouse. They were at a government building protesting this. And at least 3 garbage trucks and a trolley car were lit on fire. Now that's what I call a dumpster fire. By 2:30 a.m., a truck in a used car dealership along Sheridan Road was lit on fire. The fire spread to most of the 100 other cars on the lot, damaging an entrance sign for the nearby Bradford Community Church. It did not spread to the church itself. Businesses in the western portion of downtown suffered from arson and looting in the later hours before dawn. Along with many downtown businesses, buildings surrounding Civic Center Park, including the post office, Rutherford High School, the Kenosha County Administration Building, and the Dinosaur Discovery Museum all sustained damage to the front windows and entrance floors. What did dinosaurs do to you guys? Come on. Police scanners stated that the Lenco Bearcat armored personnel carrier was damaged by protesters in a video posted by a local newspaper. So an officer being knocked down with a brick. Nice. Also,
headshot.
Did you see the videos about that though? When they had the armored personnel, they were just sitting there and they were fucking surrounded by protesters
no.
Oh, dude, I knew shit was gonna go south before the shootings happened on day 3. because I seen that video happen, and there were fucking protesters walking around that, and every other one had a rifle in their hand, and I was like, oh, okay, shit's getting real.
Jeez, I'm getting my heart on.
Oh man, fucking bring it, let's go. All right, moving on to day 2. Peaceful demonstrations were held during the day. Tony Evers, I don't know, Evers. It's the Wisconsin governor. He activated the Wisconsin National Guard to protect firefighters and critical infrastructure in Kenosha. The ACLU of Wisconsin strongly opposed the move. County announced a curfew that went into effect at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 o'clock p.m. Metro commuter rail suspended service north of Waukegan Station at the same night. The Kenosha County exits for Interstate 41 and 94 were also closed off. Protesters broke a door off its hinges in an effort to forcibly enter a public safety building before turned back by pepper spray. Tear gas was deployed for a second night starting around 8:30 p.m. in an attempt to disperse unlawful crowds gathered near the courthouse as protesters launched fireworks at police. Again, nice. Also, unlawful crowds gathered near the courthouse. I'd still First Amendment rights. They're not unlawful. They're there for a protest. You fucked up, and now this is your backlash.
You fucked around. Now you're gonna find out.
Soon another. This is probably why I like these riots and protests so much. It's because I am a pyromaniac sometimes, and another garbage truck was lit on fire. A car dealership was looted, and a furniture store torched, while armed gunmen appear to be guarding a downtown gas station. There you go.
Why a gas station?
I don't know.
I mean, unless you're just wanting to prevent the big boom.
The big boom, yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's kind of smart, I guess.
I think anyone who throws a Molotov or tries to light a fire at a gas station deserves to have their body eviscerated. The explosion that's going to happen in the next 5 minutes.
I mean, you got dumbasses that'll light cigarettes at fucking pumps, gassing their car anyway, and it's like
that's just a problem with people being told that they're smart. And that's not a shot at people.
This is also. This goes along with the same person.
There's a lot of societal issues that we have to deal with that are just aside from people, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll save my next comment until you mention it.
Let me just say right now, with the people I work with, trust me, the reason why I don't want to work at that factory anymore is because I'm looking at some of the 50-year-olds like, I am fucking demonstratably smarter than you on life experience basis. I do not want to be around your people for the rest of my life. Jesus fucking Christ. Right. Anyway, okay. So, participants broke the door off the hinges. Okay. Garbage truck was lit on fire. Armed gunmen. Okay, downtown gas station. Several streetlights were pulled down, and by 1 a.m., several businesses downtown were on fire. Wisconsin Department of Corrections Community Parole Facility and the city's Danish Brotherhood Lodge were among the prominent buildings targeted by arsonists. Other buildings set ablaze, also owned by residential apartments, and several homes were also burned. Firefighters worked in the morning of August 25th. Now, again, with this, I think the same thing's happening that was in Minnesota with the George Floyd.
A lot of the same, similar stuff happened.
Anyone who doesn't know, there's been a lot of times proven that a lot of the fires that were set in Minneapolis those nights were not set by BLM protesters. They were set by bad actors.
At least one of the big ones.
Yeah.
The one at the AutoZone was definitely a...
Yeah, that was actually a cop.
There was a cop, yeah.
An undercover cop from, like, fucking out of state or somewhere.
That's another thing I guess we can both agree that both sides should always be on the lookout for is people who don't fit in, who are starting shit that actually don't belong. Yeah,
while we're on this topic, with both Dave and I becoming part of the PDL, we're definitely learning up on how to deal with actions like this, with demonstrations and protests, and especially with keeping peace at those things. Because honestly, we need to learn how to keep peace with these events so that this stupid shit stops happening. If we're gonna fucking kick shit off, we're gonna kick shit off. But we can't.
Let's at least do it in a smart way.
Let's do it in a smart way, united as one, not divided. United as one, we succeed. Divided, we fail.
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to burn buildings down, if you're going to destroy property, target government property, I understand.
I can sympathize at the very least with mega corporations.
Yes.
That clearly have like
yes.
a bunch of money and they're in bed with government.
I have no problems. Like, this is going to be evidence in a future legal case for me, probably. I have no problems with shoplifting from like big box stores,
like Walmart or whatever.
Walmart, yeah, fuck them. Fuck them. I don't care about them. They'll have the money to replace that. It's not like they're going to be missing like $3 worth of candy. It's no big fucking deal. They'll pay it back and it's whatever.
A lot of these mega corporations wouldn't even fucking exist without government privileges anyway.
Exactly. It's when you start burning down mom and pop
the
shops.
lower the scale of the business, the more you're probably going to want to stay away from it, because those are the closer that gets to directly to some people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
That's the argument that a lot of the guys on the redacted gang say, and me speaking to them, there are cases where defending property is probably not even your best idea if you want to continue living.
Yeah, because again, the thing about riots is it's pretty obvious to see people are fucking pissed about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry. They want violence. They're not asking nicely anymore. They're demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stand in their way, you're putting yourself in harm's way. And that's the fact of the matter is,
mm-hmm.
if you're going to defend private property, you need to understand that they're going to come for you, and you need to have that discussion with yourself. Do you stay and fight, or do you walk away and live another day? And we're going to touch up on that soon.
I will say, I wish a lot of these events, like if shit like this happens, I wish people did more coordinating before they act.
Yeah.
And communicated and
organization is key in these
yes,
things.
It is. And
again, united we succeed, divided we fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand completely. Private property, especially in the matters of race and racial tension. Private property doesn't. People hold private property more than they value people's lives, and it's demonstratable. Excuse me. It's definitely, you can demonstrate it. And I get that full 100%. Burn down buildings. I get it. I understand you're angry and you want to make your point known.
But and then another thing too is that there needs to be a balance, because this is another thing.
Yeah, if you destroy your own local economy, you're only
harming
yourself in the long run.
Another thing too is that
it just justifies more state clamping down on you.
That's the big thing regarding these larger places. That is something that can be used against you eventually, because now all these fucking mega corporations are
just gonna move right in.
They can say, oh well, you're not protecting our property.
Yep.
And so we need to clamp down on these, and then your fucking police state that you're protesting increases.
Yep.
So it's a game of strategy. You really got to pick and choose your battles here.
Or what else happens in worse cases is you start burning down mom and pop shops that
then people get really fucking pissed. Especially
the issue is
the redacted gang is
a lot of mom and pop shops.
They're huge on that specifically.
See, I'm always for mom and pop. I hate fucking working for corporations. The only two corporations I've ever worked for my entire life, and most of the time I was working there on the clock, I was fucking miserable because I had so many company policies that made no fucking sense.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And it's just, if you burn down your local economy, your local homegrown economy, you want to know who that helps? It helps their competitors. And their competitors isn't, the other mom and pop shop down the street. Their competitors
is town's neighboring
Walmart or down the street, is Meijer down the street, is Kmart down the street.
At least the bigger corporations, they can recover a lot easier than a smaller business can.
They're usually insured. Mom and pop shops, you
They
burn
usually
them down,
their insurance doesn't normally cover riots or shit like this.
In fact, I can actually speak on this. We had this town's fucking cursed. There's a town that's in between where I live and where you live. I'm not gonna mention its name, obviously, but there's two restaurants in there. Both of them fucking delicious. I love the food there. And in separate instances, they were both burned down. One of them was an accidental kitchen fire that took over the entire building and burned it down, and the other one was a disgruntled former employee that decided to burn down the building in revenge.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Was this recent? This was years ago.
This was years ago. I'll tell you which they were off, Mike. I want to kind of.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Remain vague for obsec reasons.
Yeah.
But essentially, what happened is they're both family run. They're both mom and pop shops.
Mm-hmm.
Those restaurants don't exist anymore. The second one does, but they had to move, and essentially, that was a big tourist area and a big, like if you drive by in the main strip of town, because it was on the main strip of that town.
Mm-hmm.
If you drive by it, all you see is an empty parking lot with a house in the back because they owned that entire lot and they built the building on that home.
Oh.
And the family inherited it throughout the years.
Damn.
Delicious food. Fucking love it. It was the only place to get authentic Mexican around this place. It was fucking delicious. I love Mexican food. But it's fucking delicious food. And they burned it down and I was pissed about it for the rest of the time. Every time I drive by it, I get angry.
Yeah.
But if you burn down mom and pop shops that are local, homegrown, you're only hurting your own community. And I think a lot of people in BLM understand that. I think that's why I keep saying a lot of these mom and pop shops burning down are just people trying to give the movement a valid name. And I could easily see the motivation there.
Yes, for sure. Another thing too is that if buildings are connected,
yep,
be careful of that.
Because fire will just jump.
You know how fire spreads,
Yep.
So, like I said,
like wildfire.
Yes.
Which is a serious problem that we could also probably talk about with California and all of the West.
Oh,
that's on fire.
That's another problem where they're shorthanded prison labor because of COVID.
Yep.
And
now they don't have enough firefighters for it because they rely on prison labor for $1 an hour to fight the fires. Does any of that experience carry over so that they can become firefighters once they get out of prison? No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is that are these like fucking pedophiles and rapists, or are they just like
they're probably drug offenders?
Yeah,
I want to say that most of the people who get work releases, and from what I understand, are usually people who have non-violent crimes like traffic violations and
which is fucking bullshit. You're making them put their life on the line just because of some bullshit like that.
They were paying your debt to society for 6 months off every 2 years of service or some bullshit like that. I don't know. They're not getting paid for their work. They're not getting treated properly. And again,
in most cases, they shouldn't even fucking been in there in the first place.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the whole thing of if you ever get shot by the police, you better hope that you're a fucking angel because they will dig up shit on you that you did 20 years ago and prove that
they'll dig up whatever you can.
Again, these people probably, they probably are reformed. They probably don't fucking like the life that they're leaving right now. My computer screen just fucking went out again. God damn it. Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the world in the United States today that is just bad. It's been a fucking terrible.
I know this was off topic, but that was
it was a spur of the moment.
That's another thing that came to my mind and want to mention.
Yeah. Secret time. We didn't have a topic for today's episode. There was sat down and like, are we gonna do a current events? Why? Current events is practically what we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do a 2-parter maybe.
Plus, this is more of a chillax. Want to break from the serious philosophical shit stuff.
The theory, because I fucking hate talking about theory most of the time. Because it makes me think, and I hate thinking. Especially after a fucking 40-hour work week of climbing up things and lifting things. I just want to fucking shoot the shit sometimes.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing here.
So
anyway, going back to where you left off.
Kenosha.
Yeah.
So we had the firefighters fighting the fires. I hope so. In the morning of August 25th. Day 3, August 25th. I think I woke. No, I didn't wake up to this. I woke up to the news on the 26th because that's when it happened. Kenosha County Board sent a letter to Evers requesting the deployment of an additional 2,000 National Guardsmen. Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth asserted that most of the damage was from individuals with no. I'm going to repeat this very clearly, very out loud, because it's exactly what I just got done fucking talking about.
Okay.
Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth, this is the own fucking swine saying this, asserted that most of the damage that was happening to the city during these protests were individuals with no intent to protest and who are not from Kenosha County. They're not homegrown. They're coming from out of town to start shit up. Governor Tony Evers declared a state-ordered state of emergency for the region, sending 250 troops and the Washington National Guard to the city. So, what we have here is we have a bunch of people coming in from out of town, starting shit up that doesn't need to be started up. They're burning down buildings. They're doing a bunch of dumb shit.
How do we know that those aren't fucking infiltrators and instigators that are not part of BLM?
Exactly. Well, See,
it's just a question to be raised.
Here's the whole thing that I always have to answer with BLM and Antifa, because people don't understand that BLM isn't an organization just as Antifa is an organization. It's a movement. It's an idea.
It's the same as the redacted.
Yeah. It's an ideology. There's no leader. There's no centralized structure. It's all mostly an anarchist-based society of people just saying, fuck off. There's no leadership. So, you can't say you're not one of us. There's no membership card.
Yeah.
But it's more or less you have to do litmus tests for it. And, you have to fucking figure out, like you just have to start talking theory with people. And if their shit doesn't line up, their shit doesn't line up. You have an infiltrator. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times these infiltrators can fucking fake it. I do it a lot too.
Well, for example, if I wanted to talk like an ANCOM, I could. Yeah. Because I know the lingo and how you use it.
Yeah.
And
if I wanted to talk like an ANCAP, I could because of my proximity to you.
You know how to talk
I have before to easily straw man arguments into my own fucking ways because I'm fucking snide like that.
Yeah, you know how to talk like one, so that's the thing is...
And also with being online and talking with, types of fascistic people, I can easily get it. It's easy being a fascist, I'm not going to fucking lie. All you have to do is try to hurt as many feelings. You just have to be a fucking asshole. That's all you have to do.
And then display it in your authoritarianism.
And then say that if you're not an asshole, that means that you are weak and society will leave you and your bloodline behind. And boom, suddenly people are like, "Oh, hi." And it's like, "Oh, that's a Nazi tattoo you have there, bud." Okay. It's easy, especially if you're white to break into your ranks. So,
yeah.
Which is why I tell white people, if you're not fucking doing your infiltrating work, you can't talk shit about praxis. Anyway, so you and I both know that infiltrating happens. Everyone knows that infiltrating happens. What essentially is happening is that they're appealing to boomers, people who are not politically educated enough to be talking about politically educated topics. And they're appealing and they're winning because these people don't understand how politics are. Their times have changed from when they were our age.
Oh, for sure. Everything's changed.
Back then, you just marched around. And people are like, all right, well, we're giving them what they want, and in return, we're just off their leader somewhere. Malcolm X will catch a bullet. King will catch a bullet too. Who gives a fuck? In return, they get some rights that they shut the fuck up for a little bit. And then 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line, you start getting it back. You have events in your country like 9/11 and stuff, or Patriot Act being signed and Snowden.
The government gets more radical, and as a result, the people get more radical.
Yes. It's yin and yang, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, it just comes full circle back. Now, here's the point. There's no leaders for them to kill. There's no head of the Hydra to cut and burn.
Ideas are bulletproof.
The war on terrorism taught us that. The war on terrorism is going... There's two things. There's two wars that are going to be the eventual downfall of the United States, and we're witnessing them right now. It's the war on terror, it's the war on drugs. It's also the continued existence of the Cold War 2.0 that we're fighting, but essentially that's the Cold
Those
War 2.0.
Those are the big things.
The war on drugs being the militarization of police and effectively building a police state. The war on terror teaching the American people that the United States military is
That's military-industrial complex.
Yes, is not set up to be able to effectively deal up against an insurgency. Because they're a fighting force. They're supposed to be able to fight against armed nations, not armed groups of people with no leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've been over there for the last 20 fucking years. And that's why we're going to stay over there for the last 20 years. Because we keep finding fucking heads. That's all it is over in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all those places.
Syria, Yemen.
The Middle East is a bunch of groups of people just wanting the U.S. to leave them alone. And that's why every time we kill one terrorist leader, this nationalist guy who wants us out of their country...
Everyone over there is fucking pissed.
There's another one that comes up.
Yep.
We commit atrocities that breed terrorism, and it feeds right back into itself.
And people don't freaking get it.
And now it's on our doorstep. 2020, it came to our doorstep, and it's in our country, and that ideology is what's living now.
Mm-hmm.
Is anti-imperialism. It's alive and well, and the issue is now we have the dialogue open up. Now we want to know how we're going to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you get riots. This is how you get infiltration. There's a lot of tensions going on. We're not coming back. This is the new normal.
There's no point of return.
There's no point of return. Yes, the only way to go from here is
through the eye of the tornado, basically.
Yep. It's bad times. It's bad times, but the strong will prevail, I guess, and hopefully it's the strong people that we want to win, not the ones that we want to lose.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's circle back to the timeline.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, goddamn, I'm glad we have the timeline in front of me.
Right.
All right. So, the 250 troops, law enforcement erected a tall fence to protect the courthouse. I want to also draw attention to this because now this is the point where one of my fellow ANCOMs have also stated in defense of one of the main topics we're going to be talking about tonight. They erected a tall fence to protect the courthouse. Protesters attempted to breach the fence line through the night, but all attempts failed. Significant numbers of armed civilians were also on the streets. Police said that such groups had not been invited and were not helpful. Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth described them as a militia, like a vigilante group. However, cell phone footage showed police on the ground thanking armed civilians and giving them bottles of water. All right.
Wait a minute. The police were giving bottles of water to armed
militias, while also saying that they don't belong there.
This was prior to the shooting.
Yes. Which brings you up to the topic. Drum roll, please.
What the fucking hell? The war on police is... Oh my gosh. Jeremiah Harding, by the way, did a really good video on the war on police and how it's bullshit. Good video. Just throwing that out there.
Anyway, we might, if we can find it, we'll link it. Anyway... At around 11:45 p.m. on August 25th, there was a shooting incident in which 2 people were killed and a third injured. A 17-year-old Illinois resident was arrested the next day and charged with homicide. Kyle Rittenhouse, something like that. I don't know.
You know the fucking name.
Rittenhouse. It's been fucking plastered all over the place. Everyone fucking knows about it at this point, unless you've been living under a rock for a week, which is why we're going through this timeline to catch you up. I'm gonna break from the timeline because I want to talk about this.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about the shooting now since we're at the event.
We're essentially at the event. Essentially the day for August 26th that they have written down here is it's just protests kept happening, but
okay,
shit. Our homes, it's just please help us, National Guard. It's just the state appealing to the feds, like they did in Portland.
Yep.
So the full background with it. August 25th, a teen shot at multiple protesters with an AR-15 style rifle, killing 26-year-old Silver Lake, Illinois resident Anthony Huber and 36-year-old Kenosha resident Joseph Rosenbaum, and injuring one, Gage Grosskreutz, 26 of West Allis, Wisconsin. The shooter is alleged to have been Kyle Rittenhouse. Don't know why they say alleged. There's video fucking proof of him being there. A 17-year-old white male from Antioch, Illinois. Again, Anthony Huber and Kyle Rittenhouse were from out of state. They were from Illinois. After the incident, Rittenhouse approached police vehicles with his hands up, but officers did not stop to question or arrest him, despite members of the public telling them that he was the shooter. A person must be 18 to possess a long gun in Wisconsin and to open carry it.
Legally.
Yep.
So, first of all, his mother being a cop, this is all shit that she should have known and should have fucking warned him about. Be like, yeah. You would think that, since you're a cop, all you do is care about the law, really. Yeah. She'd be smart enough to not let her fucking son go into such an environment knowing he's breaking several laws already.
I think that they don't care. That's my honest opinion. It doesn't matter if they're a cop or not.
Well, I get that. I'm just saying, situation-wise, that part doesn't even make sense to me on why she would do that. From my understanding. I mean, I get why he was there. Are we just going to break down our thoughts on it? Okay, so from my understanding, he was there to protect property. He was apparently he was a trained medic, and like I said, he there's video of him being with an armed crew. So I should have organized my thoughts better on this, but there's a lot of things that should have been better prepared for. So one of the things I don't understand is why he got separated from his armed crew, and I don't understand why. That's one of the tactics is you don't fucking separate from
your line, and if your line breaks, you break with your line.
Yeah.
You go with your group. You do not get separated. A lone gunman situation is not what you want to be in.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened when he ran off.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even care. If you're going to show up as a group, you need to stay together as a group. Another thing, too, is that when you're getting ready to go out to one of these riots or a protest or whatever you want, or whatever you're going to do, and you're getting your kit together, you got your plate carrier, you got your sidearm, you got your med bag. Your attitude should not be, I can't wait to use this.
Your attitude should be, I hope I don't have to use this.
That's the thing. You should say, I am preparing for the worst, and I hope to God that I don't actually have to use any of this.
Plan for the best, but prepare for the worst.
That you should not be excited about being able to use any of that. Even your med kit, because guess what? That implies someone's going to be harmed. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want anyone being harmed at one of these things. Unless they deserve it, like a fucking pig shooting a black guy or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time, okay? You shouldn't go out looking for a fight.
No.
Excuse me. So that's something that people need to keep in mind.
And, again, because it's a lot of a gray area, because each of these four people, let's see here, Kyle Rittenhouse, Anthony Huber, Joseph Rosenbaum, and Greg Grosskreutz, they all have some kind of criminal background to them. Kyle himself had been in juvie.
Mm-hmm.
When one of the things that stand out to me, and this is not me saying that he shouldn't be allowed to own a firearm or operate.
This is just sayings that people, even in a free society, you would know things like this.
It's a judge of character, more or less.
Yes, for sure.
In March 2016, he was 13 years old at this time. He has 3 charges. And they're all, essentially, from what I understand, he was pissed at someone. The cops were called. They showed up, and they found Kyle Rittenhouse brandishing a firearm under the influence of marijuana, with marijuana still
any mind-altering substance and firearms, they do not mix.
Yep. So, essentially, what it is you should be in a sober state. Excuse me. You should be in a sober state of mind whenever you're operating firearms. The reason why is because I like to smoke a lot of weed. So I'm going to tell you firsthand. The last thing I want to do is have a gun in my hands when I'm smoking, when I'm high like that. I just want to relax. I don't want to fucking sit there and hold a gun. I use it for medical purposes, so I can't say the same for, Kyle. But when I'm drinking, I can't even fucking find the floor sometimes. I can't even fucking find where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going because everything's just, the gravity sucks.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to fucking use a firearm because I'm clumsy as fuck when I'm in those states.
Easily shoot yourself,
I'm dead. I'm dead. But it shows that you don't care about your own well-being
and the well-being of others.
You're negligent to others, and that right there is kind of made me saying that Kyle was not the fucking angel that they're trying to paint him into being.
I will say I'm really sick and tired of these fucking right-wing militia boog people making him out to be some sort of fucking hero.
He's not a hero.
And idolizing him. Like, no, you don't fuck. That reflects very poorly on us. Do you not realize that?
Yep.
And this really bugs me is that when people are more anti-left than they are pro-liberty.
Yep. And
just because you are anti-left does not mean you are pro-liberty.
And again, it's also the same thing with like anarchist versus authoritarianism. I've been called I'm not a rear. I fucking went off on someone in the Ansinge group chat. We had a guy who called himself an anarcho-syndicalist. So he was essentially one of the terms that I go under. So this one was hitting close to me, and it was pissing me off because every fucking time he opened up his goddamn trap in that group chat, he was to some extent just fucking licking Trump up and down, saying that Trump's gonna save us and all this. And I'm like, this guy is legit in a fucking group chat filled with anarchists talking about how the state leader is the right way to go and that. I'm just like, and I called him out on it many times. I didn't fucking call him out directly because I was like, I don't have the time for this shit. I did it casually.
Mm-hmm.
And I even said, if you support Trump or Biden and you're an anarchist, you're not a fucking anarchist. You're a goddamn idiot.
Mm-hmm.
If you rely on your problems to be fixed by the people who created those problems,
you got a problem.
You got a problem. And your problem is you're relying on the wrong people. The only one who is responsible for fixing the issues that you and people like you face are you and people like you. It's the only way that we're going to repair the society is by fixing it ourselves.
And stop pawning them off on people who, guess what, profit on our problems.
Yes, because they're going to keep creating the problems to make money off of them.
Exactly.
Essentially, and what I forgot the breaking point that it was. I forgot what the topic was.
On what?
I just fucking went off on him one day.
Oh, gotcha.
And
I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, Aaron. Fucking I forgot. No. Okay. Yes. So we had someone come in and she did a lot of work with COVID case tracking. Mind you, case tracking. All she did was record who tested positive for COVID and who was in contact with this person that may have caught it.
Mm-hmm.
That's her job. And he came out and said that she supports FEMA death camps because of her job. That's classist as fuck. Someone needs a job to live in this kind of society. You don't fucking shame them for whatever the hell they do, especially if they get a college degree to do it.
I mean, you can argue, hey, there's a sense of a little bit of a moral responsibility here, but
yes,
at this stage, no. Like, she didn't deserve any of it.
And I think this is also the time when I was sick with COVID, so this also...
You're already irritated?
I was like, I'm fucking tired of people talking about it, especially when people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because I'm one of those people where if it's like, if you've experienced, boom, you're a primary source. You have more fucking firepower in your arsenal than anyone else on that matter.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what triggered it off, was I was like, her job's legitimate. She's helping out public health. No, she wants to put us in FEMA death camps. I didn't fucking see that. And I was like, you are so afraid over nothing. You're making up scenarios on what you're afraid of. And then he went off on me. This guy went on a full fucking tangent on me in the group chat about, I don't know, it was just the typical stupid shit. At one point, he grabbed a picture, and I love this because on my personal...
He grabbed a picture from your personal page.
On my personal page on Facebook, you have the featured pictures where you get to select what pictures go up there. And every picture that I have up there is from me at least 5 or 6 years ago. Before I put on weight and became more athletic, before I was even a fucking liberal to begin with. I was a conservative back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making fun of someone who was a conservative who had the same mindset as him. And he grabbed a picture and he said something about my mother. Now, I don't fucking care. I grew up in the 2000s. You say something about my mom, I'm like, ha, your mom joke. Yeah, that was original 10 years ago. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
He just fucking went off, and it was like, you're bottom fucking barrel, and he just ended up... He said, goodbye, I'm done here, and I'm just like, alright, fine, whatever. And then he kept running his mouth, so I'm like, I thought you were fucking done. You're still running your damn mouth. Fucking leave. Grow a fucking hair and leave.
He did rage quit the group.
He rage quit, and I loved it. I'm still in a different chat with him. I'm just in there. I'm waiting for him to start stupid shit again, so I can fucking call him out. I have him blocked, so he can't fucking stoop my page, but I can still communicate with him in that group chat.
Oh wow!
And I'm waiting for it again. Round 2, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I haven't said anything in that group chat. I haven't given him any reason other than he's probably getting a message every now and then saying that someone in that group has blocked him, and. Because I get that message every time Andrew, he's talking in that group chat. I want round 2 with him. I want it. I need it.
Anyway.
I keep getting people like him, and it was like, I'm going to show up at your house and murder you. I'm like, dude, it's Facebook beef. You're not going to do shit, bud.
It's internet tough guy attitude.
You're going to get angry at me, and 2 things are going to happen. You're going to forget about it. We're going to show up at my house at the wrong time. My dad's going to put a fucking hole in you.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about living with your parents.
And 99.9% of the time, they're literally just talking shit out of their ass.
Yeah. I cannot tell you how many times within the past 3 years I've had my life threatened or on Facebook over some fucking white kid out in the middle of the fucking United States saying that they're going to beat my ass. Like, no, you're fucking not. You're going to sit in front of your computer screen and moan and complain.
And rage.
Every little thing under the sun that you don't agree with. Because that's what you do. You don't fucking put your money where your mouth is.
The second you have to go to like someone's personal profile too, you've already basically lost.
Unless you're gaining information about like if you just want to fuck with someone, I get that. But if you're going to go into someone's personal page for an ad hom attack, you
already lost.
You're asking to get your ass beat. Trying to run up on my house is a bad mistake because not only does my dad hunt and has all of his FUD guns, but I also, like I said, I have a kit, which means that one firearm in my house is always ready to be fucking loaded and fired within 5 seconds of notice.
And you've got a lot of, I'd say, land to play with.
I have a lot of, yes. I will see you coming from a mile away, and I have a gun that will reach that far. And trust me, a .338 Win Mag does a beautiful thing when it hits flesh.
Kaboom.
Yeah. But
all right, let's get back to it.
Aside from the internet tough guy stuff, all defensively, I don't care. I'm not going to fucking lose sleep over some kid getting angry at me on Facebook.
Yeah. So going back to Kyle and
okay. So sorry, I get off track.
I know.
I've been up since 6 o'clock in the morning. Cut me some slack. It's been 14 hours, almost 15.
No, so what was I even talking about?
We were talking about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, and I said
Rittenhouse. His name is Rittenhouse.
Yeah, so one of the things that you don't separate from your group.
Yep.
That was a big mistake on his part. Another big mistake was well, at least to me, he went out there with good intentions, supposedly, from what I heard.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good thing. You also need to keep your fucking cool.
Yes.
You need to be able to control your temperament until, again, you need to focus on de-escalation as much as possible and not instigation.
Honestly, if I'm ever out at an event and I see a kid, and I'm going to call him a kid because he's a kid, I refer to anyone essentially after a lot of the working knowledge that I've had over the years. Anyone underneath 21 in age, they're a kid. They don't know how to manage their emotions correctly. They don't know how to be an adult yet. They're still learning how to be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
They're a kid. If I ever see a kid on my line, I'm fucking telling them to pack up and go home. That's someone's child still. That's not someone who can think on their own and think on their feet like that in a stressful situation. They don't know how to handle it. They just got done with high school and stuff.
Unless they actually went through like something serious that caused them to grow up, you know?
Kyle Rittenhouse is 17 years old. He was born in January 2003. This is one of those people that we've been talking about for the last 5 years about, hey, did you know that they're teaching fucking the word fucking 9/11? They're teaching that as history to these fucking people.
Who weren't even born.
They weren't even born. They don't.
And it's like, wow, are we that fucking old already?
I want to pull the fucking big dick past fucking conservative card of where were you when the towers fell on this kid? That would be like, I was in my dad's balls. But that's essentially what it is this kid should not have been out there. He was a minor. He should have been at home studying for a fucking test or whatever the fuck. And he's 17. He hasn't graduated yet. He should be still a junior in high school, I believe.
He's probably going into his senior year.
Yeah, he should be going into his senior year. Distance learning allowed him to be able to do that.
Anyway, so those are some big flaws on his part. And honestly, yeah, I agree. He shouldn't even been out there.
He shouldn't have been out there. If he wouldn't have been there, he wouldn't have caught those charges.
At the very
least, he
least,
wouldn't have killed those people, and he wouldn't have almost shot a man's arm off.
So now, from so those are his mistakes, at least before and after, or before he went there and while he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the very first video, from what I saw, was they're all in a big group of people. Kyle is in the group with the armed guys, and this is where I don't know his fucking name. I call him Red Shirt. The Red Shirt, the first guy who got shot. Rosenbaum. So, criminal history aside, whatever, he's there. He's literally touting, shoot me, nigga. Shoot me, nigga.
Oh,
okay, first of all, you're a fucking idiot to even say that to a bunch of armed people. Hey, shoot me. Shoot me. Shoot me. Like, you're asking for it. What are you doing?
We had, and I'm glad you brought that up, because we had someone in that group, the Violently American group, we had someone post a video like that. We had to take it down because it kept getting reported because it showed gore in it. But it was a video. It was a guy. It was they were arguing over garbage, and these two fucking inbred hillbillies were sitting there with their shotguns and fucking complaining about shit like white people do. And this guy's like, "You're gonna fucking bring a gun to my house? Fucking shoot me! Fucking shoot me!" And he walked towards them, and they shot him and killed him.
You never fucking tell someone to shoot you.
I was pissed watching that because I was in that shoot me guy. I would have said shoot me, but I literally said, I'm like, no, what I would do is I'll be like, alright, whatever, here, I'll be right back. And I'll fucking got in the house and get my gun, walk out and start popping people. That's what I would have done because they're bringing fucking guns into my house where my family is. But aside from that, that was stupid. You never tell people with guns to shoot you. They will fucking shoot you.
Yeah, that is real. That's pure instigation. So that's definitely, even like I said, criminal record aside, that's a fucking big no-no on his part. And as a result, he's fucking dead as far as I'm aware.
Also, while we're talking about the Rosenbaum part of it, there was no Molotov.
No, it was not a Molotov.
It was a fucking grocery bag with like candy in it or something.
Or it looked like a pop bottle or something.
Yeah, like there was a couple of heavy objects in there, obviously, because the way the bag was flying, there was obviously
something of weight at least, but it was not a Molotov. It wasn't anything on fire. If you go back and watch the video, you'll see it.
If you ever made a Molotov, I'm not saying I have, or seen one hit the ground and explode in any of these kinds of events, I'm not saying I have, but you will know that's not how a Molotov acts. That's nothing of like a Molotov act.
No.
Molotovs fucking burn a lot of things. So
yeah, and they explode and shatter.
Yeah, they don't really explode. They just kind of break and just spread all over
They
the
spread
place.
all this. They spread.
It's essentially just an incendiary device.
Yeah, But the thing is, it spreads, and then you can easily see it.
Yeah, you can see it spread, and in the video, there's no fucking spread when it hits the ground. It just, that's it.
Yeah, and then a flame would, even if it was on, like I said, if it was a Molotov that somehow didn't break and didn't go off, it still would have been a flame that you could be able to see from the distance in the video, but there's not. There's no flame.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people think when they say it's a Molotov.
They wanted to see it as a justification for Kyle to shoot.
Not only that, it's a running meme to throw Molotovs at people on the left. I've fucking said it a lot of times. It's a running meme. It's just a joke to throw Molotovs at people.
I don't get it.
At fascists, I should say. Sorry. I said people, but I meant fascists.
Okay.
Not people.
Well, this is...
It's a running joke. And so they probably latch onto that like, oh, they're joking about it, but it's actually a serious matter. And the way, I will say, the way the light hit that bag when the fucking, like,
when
the
it's
handles
in the
bag,
air,
it looks like it's on fire. I will say that. But it's clearly not a Molotov.
If you actually look at the video, yes, it's not a Molotov. So,
That's a big fucking Molotov.
That was a big one.
That was a big fucking one.
The whole thing is, so there's that video where he's saying, shoot me, nigga.
Yeah.
And then at the end, that cuts. And then the next thing that I know and I see is the video where Kyle's running away.
Yeah.
Into the parking lot of the gas station, and the guy's chasing him and throws the bag, and it misses. And that's where he sort of like goes behind the other cars, and you can't see fucking shit.
Yeah.
So, and then there's, I guess, some people speculating that maybe the first shot wasn't actually Kyle, and it was someone else, and then Kyle thought it was he was getting shot at.
It has been kind of confirmed that there was someone off to the side. My personal case is I think that this was Grauskowitz that was off to the side because it was a handgun round that went off. A lot of people said that someone pointed a handgun up into the sky and let off a round as like a warning shot. Which again, don't fucking ever do that. But I don't.
Well, if you got other people with guns, they're gonna hear that and immediately think that they're being shot at.
Yeah. Don't fucking do that. Never discharge your weapon unless you're discharging it at something that is a threat. Not the fucking sky. The sky is not a I fucking hate when people pop off warning shots up into the sky like that. Warning shots are just fucking stupid, to be honest. You want to know what a good warning shot is? Here, my gun's pointed at you. That's a warning shot.
Yeah, really.
That's intent right there. So that's a crime, actually. That's brandishing a firearm. So, and legal definitions, that's intent. That's a warning shot right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so that's another thing. And so he was. What was his name? The guy who supposedly shot first.
No one's put a name to him yet. Like I said, it could have been Gage Grauskowitz, the guy with who got his arm.
Yeah, he had a pistol.
Yeah.
So I guess it's possible.
It's possible. I don't know
but
for sure.
In the
video, there was interaction with. Oh yeah, he shot someone. So someone from the first location was at the second location.
Yeah. And so I can understand why Kyle would think, hey, he's being shot at, because he heard a gunshot near him, and so. I mean, when you're hearing a gunshot and you're in that kind of environment, you're going to immediately into the fight or flight mode.
Yes.
So,
and my whole take on it is, Kyle, doesn't matter. I don't care if he was acting in self-defense or not. As we heard from the timeline, there is clear reason to believe that the cops did funnel people his way. There's clear reason to believe that they knew that a kid who was going to be afraid miles away from home with a gun will do what they can't do. They can't open fire on civilians because as soon as they do that, shit hits the fucking fan. Because that means that the cops are willing to fucking start capping people, and it just gives so much more ammunition quite literally to their opposers.
Yeah. So it was a strategic move on their part.
I believe that they intentionally funneled them to that militia, and the militia just kind of fucked off and left Kyle there because Kyle's inexperienced, doesn't know what the hell's going on. And Kyle took the fall for them. I'm not saying it's self-defense. I'm not saying that he was justified. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm saying my entire thing is if Kyle Rittenhouse did not go to Kenosha that night,
at least
we wouldn't be talking about this.
At least him.
Yes.
At the very least, I mean, maybe someone else would have done it.
Correct.
But yeah, that's a big thing. And then all hell, So the other thing, following that event,
yes,
you hear the shooting. The red shirt, he got shot.
He got
a couple times in the stomach.
Rosenbaum.
He got a skinned head.
Yeah, he got grazed
by the head.
In the head. He got shot twice in the leg, and I think he got shot in the arm, but he eventually died from his wounds. Because, as I said off mic, 5.56 caliber is a very nasty caliber to get hit by. It won't kill you immediately unless you get hit in the vitals. But once it passes through skin, it tends to break up and shrapnel inside of your body.
And then you're just shredded.
Yeah, and it's a very agonizing way to go. That man did not die on that scene. He died in the hospital in about an hour.
No, he was still clearly alive in the video.
Yep.
You could see him.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to read the testimonial that the medic who was working on him gave?
No, I did not.
I'll see if I can find it.
Anyway, so following that, so clearly what Kyle does is he calls. So from what I understood, he called a friend. From what I understand, I don't believe he called 911, but he called someone. I guess a friend, and then he said, "Hey, I just shot someone," and you can hear it in the video as he's running away. Okay, so here's my next thing. As he's running away, right? You then hear other people around him saying, "He just shot someone."
Yep.
Now all these people that the only thing they know is that they heard gunshots. That's the only thing they know.
Yeah.
And they see the guy jogging with
a
gun. Rifle. So this idea that he's now an active shooter.
Yep.
Whose goal is to kill people.
Yep.
Well, that's stupid now because he's jogging right past a whole bunch of people that he could be shooting and he's not.
Yeah.
So that's stupid. But now all the people around him, the riots, protesters, and rioters, all they know is that he shot someone, but they don't stop to thinking, well, was it justified? Was it self-defense?
Yeah.
They don't actually know what happened. And here's the thing. People who keep making the argument that, the police shouldn't shoot guilty people either.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Rioters and protesters shouldn't shoot guilty people either in that circumstance because he wasn't an active shooter.
We can't stand on a pedestal and say that we're better than cops if we do the same thing that cops do.
Yeah, so I don't understand why the crowd decided to disarm him. He just shot someone. Why would you think that if you would try and disarm him, he's not going to shoot you too?
I think the people in the crowd that tried disarming him fell victim to the same thing that he did, and that is they let their emotions do the talking. Mm-hmm. And they were angry. Again, like I said, protesters and rioters, they're angry. They're dealing with an emotional anger that they cannot quench because they're pissed. They're fed up. Mm-hmm. What they're protesting about means a lot to them. That's why riots happen. It means a lot to them, and nothing's getting changed for it. So fuck it, burn everything down. I don't fucking care anymore. That's their mentality.
Yep.
So that man just shot someone. He's a threat.
He's now a threat, and I need to take him out.
He is a threat in my mind. I'm going to disarm him. I'm going to end that threat. And unfortunately, and here's the thing that people don't understand. If you're going to try to be like Kyle, just know Kyle should not be alive right now. Grauskowitz hesitated and lost his arm.
He did hesitate.
If you watch the video, Grauskowitz hesitated.
He's walking towards him as Kyle fell. He had his hand on his weapon, and then he draws it, but he doesn't shoot.
Yep. I've said this multiple times. If you're an active shooter, and I can tell you this right now, if I have reason to believe that you are a danger to my community with the people that I am supposed to be there to protect, and I have to draw my handgun, if I have to draw any of my weaponry,
you're going to use it.
To do it, never point your gun at something you don't intend to destroy. If I have to draw my firearm to deal with a threat, that threat's not going to be in existence anymore. Kyle Rittenhouse is lucky to be alive today because of poor training and poor planning.
On the fact of the other guy.
Gade, yep. Grosskreutz should not have hesitated.
You shouldn't have to hesitate. If you feel you need to draw your firearm, you shouldn't have to hesitate anymore.
Mm-hmm. If you feel like you're in danger, if you feel like there's present danger and you need to neutralize the threat, you draw and fire.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
And
that's better than ever drawing and then just hesitating.
Yep, the same thing. And again, that goes for Kyle as well. That's why I'm saying I don't care if it's self-defense. It's murder either way. But if self-defense, it's all nuance. He shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Every party that was involved here has some level of blame.
It's essentially a four-way fuckfest. That's all it is.
Really.
Every person involved in this shooting has skeletons in a closet or in some way was wrong or right. It just depends on what narrative you follow.
Exactly. And then everyone should just be trying to learn what not to do going forward with this.
Don't hesitate. If someone starts shooting up your fucking group of people that you're supposed to be, there to kind of make sure to keep the peace and protect, that's a direct threat to keeping the peace.
Yeah.
You fucking turn their head into a canoe. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to calm down and comply, if you still see them, Anthony Huber died before Grosskreutz was shot. Grosskreutz, when he's seen him fucking shoot Huber, should have fucking pulled and fired, because that means that Kyle was still looking to kill. In his mind, he would have been completely justified in pulling the trigger on him.
Yeah.
So.
Training would have really helped in this situation.
Don't go armed to protests with intent to community defense if you don't know how to
properly defend and
de-escalate and properly defend.
That's another thing too. Is everyone who is armed should be also trained in de-escalation.
And that's not for armed. Anyone who goes to protest in
general,
should know
proper de-escalation techniques.
De-escalation. Everyone's a fucking medic too. By the way,
everyone should be.
Medics.
Yeah.
So I did have the testimonial pulled up, and I will read it real quick. The video says Rosenbaum, loud bang is heard. Fuck you, Rosenbaum. Yeah, loud bang is heard on the video. Then a male shouts, "Fuck you." Then Rosenbaum appears to continue to approach the defendant and gets near proximity to the defendant when 4 more loud bangs are heard. Again, the first loud bang being the shot off screen, and then the 4 bangs they have confirmed were from Kyle's gun.
Yes.
The defendant then circles around the black car and approaches Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum remains on the ground. McGinnis, who is the medic who was talking to both Kyle and Rosenbaum before all this video happened.
Is he the one who took off his shirt to apply pressure to...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was the medic you seen in the video attending to Rosenbaum.
Okay.
This is the real hero of this story. And I fucking hated that no one's talking about him. Because he did his job. He's the only motherfucker there that did the job correctly.
Yes, because he did medical to an injured patient.
Yes, that is what medics do.
And even if he was a fucking idiot and decided to do some stupid shit,
yes,
the medic still did his job.
The medic did his job, and for that we thank you. Out of the 5 people in this interaction, you're the only one who did their job correctly.
You're the only damn good one here.
You're the only one that we can at least put some stock in defending.
Right.
The defendant then circles around. Rosenbaum removes his shirt and attempts to render aid to Rosenbaum. The defendant appears to get on his cell phone and place a call. Another male approaches. The defendant turns around and begins to run away from the scene. As the defendant is running away, he can be heard saying on the phone, "I just killed somebody."
Yes, he did say that on phone.
Yeah.
You can
For
hear
those of you who haven't put it 2 and 2 together, the defendant is Kyle Rittenhouse in this case. I believe I seen in the video. Like, he was sitting there on his phone, like, oh my god, I think the guy's dead. And McGinnis looks up, he's like, dude, get the fuck out of here! Like, why are you still here? You just probably killed this man, and they witnessed it! Get the fuck out! I don't want to do another body tonight, man.
Well, the thing
I swear I remember hearing someone say, get the fuck out of here, kind of thing.
Well, that can be... The other thing is, though, is that now that he's not there... Other people are now gonna see a guy running with a gun. Mm-hmm. That can be something psychologically. Yes. Something's fucking happening. Yes. And he might be a threat or something. Like.
Well, that's the issue though. Is Kyle killed a man that night?
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
He essentially mortally wounded a man. People watched him do it. People were going to be angry. If he stayed there, backup was coming. If he left, he took the risk, and he took the risk.
I feel like he should have went the other way.
He should have
fucking tried to hide. Honestly, is what I would have done.
Again, my honest opinion was he should have never been there.
Well, I agree. I mean, up until we both agree.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have fucking been there.
He broke a lot of laws, and that's why I keep saying he's going to see the inside of a cell. They're not going to fucking let him walk.
No, I mean the fact that he was...
The feds want him because he broke a federal offense crossing state lines with an armed with an AR-15 that he didn't own.
Yeah. So he's definitely going to be guilty on at least a couple charges.
Yeah, mostly weapons charges.
On the weapons charge, and now his mom being an accessory. What do you think on that?
I think
guilty or
I think if he gets a murder charge, his mom should definitely be. I think his mom should definitely get a charge because she drove him there and helped him commit at least a few of the crimes he committed that night. She deserves some of the blame. And again, normally I wouldn't care about crimes and law and order about this because I don't fucking care about that shit most of the time. But as a civilized society, sometimes you have to participate in the state if the state is all we have.
You're forced to participate in the state. Sometimes you gotta fucking deal with it. Yep. You know.
As I said, he committed crimes. You can't cross state lines with a loaded rifle. It's sketchy as shit. I mean, you can let the ATF know, and usually you can get a pass that way, but I mean, if a state trooper pulls you over and you're fucking loaded up to the fucking teeth, they're gonna be asking questions. And if you're from out of state, you're getting fucking taken in. You're getting detained because that just shows that you are up to no good
in their eyes.
Yeah,
you know,
they have all the reason to believe. I'm not gonna try to defend the cops on this one. Fuck the cops, but if I seen someone armed to the fucking teeth in a place where they don't belong,
at least
I'll start asking questions.
Yeah, your suspicion goes through the roof. You know, what the fuck's going on here?
I think his mom should be accessory. Maybe not accessory to murder, maybe, but definitely accessory to firearm trafficking.
There is at least some level of blame on her part.
She drove him there. He did the crime.
And honestly, just analyzing this from a normal perspective,
it's like if someone robs a bank and they get the entire
and the driver.
The driver catches the charge too.
Yes.
As accessory.
Yes.
So you can't say that, oh, his mom only drove him there. Like, she doesn't get an accessory. No. If the getaway driver gets charged with the bank robbers as an accessory, then his mom needs to be charged as well as an accessory.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, even if you didn't know, you know, like even in the event of a bank robbery, even if you didn't know that you were actually being accessory to murder, you still did something.
Yeah.
You know, and
it really sucks if they ended up having to kill someone on the inside because you're sitting there and you're just sitting there listening to your music, playing on your phone, you know, doing getaway drivers. I don't know what getaway drivers do in the meantime. I've never been one. I will say that full on. I've never been a getaway driver.
We're good law-abiding citizens.
Yes, we are. We don't do illegal things that are morally okay but are legally unjust. Why would we ever do that?
We only do bad things in Minecraft.
Yes. And GTA. Okay. I'm fucking tired. I'm not gonna lie right now.
That's right.
I'm good to keep going, but I'm getting up there in the slap happy post an hour, so.
Yeah, so what's his face? Yeah, so his mom. There is at least some level of blame on his mom's part.
There's some level of blame on his mom.
Like as a normal parent, either. I mean,
I swear to God, if I ever drive my kid somewhere and I find out that he fucking killed 2 people, I'm kicking him out of the car and leaving him wherever the fuck he is and saying, you get to deal with this yourself. I'm not getting dragged into your
just as problems. A parent, like...
Unless he kills fascists, they're not people, so I'm okay with that.
If I was his parent, you know, and he wanted to... it's all relative to how much training has he had, and I still, even if he had some training, I wouldn't trust him with something as serious as this kind of riot.
No.
Even because he's still
I
young.
I would appoint him to like the fucking straight pride parade or some shit.
I wouldn't fucking let him also go without some protection either.
Yeah.
And like,
or at least chaperone. Fucking,
and also,
like, come here, you dumb shit, this way.
And just like any other public setting you would send your kid to, stay fucking together with your group.
Yes.
That you don't even need to be a part of an armed militia to understand that tactic.
I have a question.
What?
Did Kyle Rittenhouse have his parents sign the permission slip?
Go to, Mom, can I go to this riot?
Can I go to Kenosha? My teacher says it should be fine. I might kill someone. Oh, sure, that's fine. Whenever the kids are on, whenever the kids want.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. For real. Just as a normal parent, I don't even understand the thought process on this. I wouldn't let my kid go to that.
Indoctrination is what I'd say.
I mean, he's a fucking police.
And
youngling.
We were having a discussion because some classes or some places are teaching racism and stuff like that as in third grade classes now. Like, hey, this thing exists, and teaching you how to recognize it and stuff like that, which is good. It's good. It's knowledge that needs to be taught to essentially a white settled state. So we need to understand.
My personal. Okay, I never mind. I'll save this. It's sort of irrelevant. Go ahead.
Okay. And they're teaching that and everything, and on this thread they're like, oh, so they're relying on the state to teach racism. Why can't the parents teach it?
They should.
Where do you think racism comes from? It's not learned. It's not just like, it's not natural to hate another human being.
It is a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior. I've always been kind of like a good-hearted person. I would like to. I'm not going to call myself humble, obviously, but I've always been kind of like the person where it's like,
let's try to be good.
Just be kind, and your life would be a lot easier. High school disproved that for a little bit, and that's when I went in conservative. Fuck everyone else, and then I started working and becoming an adult and realized that I was wrong to think that way. But I remember, again, I've done some shady shit in my past. I've used the N-word. I've referred to black people in an unsavory manner. I was a kid, though. I was 11, 12 years old when I was making very racist jokes, not understanding the harm I was actually, kind of buying into.
Yeah.
I learned this from my parents. And knowing what I know now and listening to how my parents talk, I can 100% confirm.
You learned it from them.
I learned it from them. For instance, and it's a slippery slope for me because my parents, they they're there to care for me a lot, and they're there to help me, and it's this painful truth that I have to live with that, they're some of my greatest mentors in my life, but they're not good people. They're some of the greatest help I could ever have, but they're not good.
Nobody's
people.
perfect, and
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
You're right. I remember when all this COVID stuff started breaking out, and we started having those mask mandates, and there was a news report saying, "Oh, Detroit has so many
cases
reports and stuff," and this is going to be an example of how easy it is to just not be a fucking racist dipshit,
or at least to not come across so blatantly like one.
My mom immediately said, "It's because all those black people don't want to listen to rules," and I'm like, dude, I feel offended about that. Holy fucking shit! Like, just say it next time. Jeez.
Yeah, really.
And that's how it is. That's how it's learned. She doesn't know she's being racist about it because all she thinks, well, there's a lot of black people in Detroit, so I'm right on saying this. You can't say that because you're not implementing people in Detroit. You're implementing the black people in Detroit are not listening.
Specifically,
it's their problem. It's their fault. It's not the people of Detroit aren't listening. It's the black people of Detroit. And people may have not been listening to the mandate in Detroit. I don't fucking know. I didn't care. I was too busy playing Call of Duty Warzone at the time. Those fucking boss as shit. And I just got my new PC. I didn't care. My mom was saying racist shit. I didn't want to listen. I don't want to hear it because I don't want
to
be reminded that my parents have this bad side to them.
The thing is, all she had to say was, it's because the people aren't listening.
People aren't listening.
And that would not have been racist.
I say that all the time. People don't fucking listen. Why? People don't fucking listen. Do I say these people don't listen? No. I say people don't fucking listen because people don't fucking listen.
Mm-hmm. But then she had to throw the word black in there.
And that's the thing. It's like...
Now you're a racist.
And yes. And that's a lot of things, is you see people doing that a lot, and too, and then, like, you see, like, people didn't call Trump a racist until he ran for president. It's like, did you listen to the shit that he said when he was running for president, though? He said some racist shit!
Yeah.
He was talking about, like, all Mexicans that come across the border, they're only rapists and criminals. It's like...
Wow, that's pretty fucking racist.
Honestly, it would still be racist, but it'd be less racist if you didn't say they're Mexicans. If people are coming across the border. Because once you put Mexican in there, you implant the idea of it in people's mind.
Yes.
You give them the picture, you give them all the tools for it, and they connect the
dots.
dots.
You're a Mexican, now I'm associating you with a rapist, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
People all that simple to fucking put the dots, I can't speak. They can put together the dots.
Put the dots to the papa. Okay.
Oh my god!
So,
I need a drink.
So. Yeah. So this whole shooting thing was such a shit show.
It was a shit show. Everything about it was a shit show. Every victim and every suspect has something bad about them and something good about them. Something that you can say is defensible and something that you can say is indefensible. For instance, Jacob Blake, the original fucking, victim in this. Yeah, he had a track record, and there were some pretty fucking terrible crimes that he's done. But he didn't deserve to be shot in the fucking back at point blank range.
Especially when the cop fucking misses 3 times at point blank range.
He missed half his fucking shots almost. At point blank range. At that point, that guy at least needs to get his gun fucking taken away.
Yeah.
Fucking give him the wooden gun from the other. Give him the wooden gun from the other guys at least.
Yeah, for real. And another thing too is that he shouldn't have needed to pull his gun.
Yes.
Like long before.
And
he should have just.
I made this. I actually did. Sorry.
If you already had to deploy your taser at him, just fucking put him to the ground or just forcefully get him in cuffs, and then after that you can fucking guess what? Put him in your car and boom, you're good.
I vote my favorite option. If you taser a man and he still gets back up and just starts walking away, that man is not to be fucked with. He won the challenge. You walk away.
Whoa.
No! Ain't fucking dealing with that anymore. You're someone else's problem. Bye. That's honestly what I would have done, but I'm not a cop for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if you're a cop and you have to deal with this.
Yeah.
That's the way I would have gone about it. And of course, I'm not a cop either, and I haven't been trained like a cop. So.
And of course, the cop is a cop. So, I mean, people are going to defend him because he's a cop, and people are going to hate him because he's a cop. So, he's a fucking cop. Fuck him. And then you got Kyle, who shouldn't have been there. He was a kid with a gun that he shouldn't have had, shooting people that were just as emotionally distressed as he was.
Oh yeah, apparently Kyle had very poor muzzle control before too, which is also a big fucking no-no.
It's a big fucking no-no, eh?
Big no-no on the muzzle control.
Yeah,
that's
that's huge. One thing you gotta learn. That's also that's one thing I gotta fucking figure out with my AR-15 because it drops like a motherfucker. I need to figure out how to reforesight that thing. I don't know. Maybe I can figure out when I ship it back for the takedown pin being fucked and the muzzle at least. I don't know.
Anyway,
that's
another mistake on his part.
Yeah, he had poor muzzle control, and again, Grouse quits. He had good intentions, but he hesitated.
Once you pull your gun, no more hesitating.
You don't hesitate. That's the rising action right there, and the climax is you fucking pulling that trigger.
I will say, side note too, I saw a video of the guy who he's getting, ganged up on at his car, and he has his gun out.
Yeah.
He's pointing it down, but he's holding it out.
Yeah.
And then he's getting surrounded at his fucking car door. And guess what? Because he never used it, boom, he got shot.
Yep.
And it's like, what are you fucking doing? If you're
Once
going to
you
pull it
out a
out,
gun,
you use it.
Once you pull out a gun and you holster it and have it in a ready position, that's intent. That means that you're ready to fucking throw down.
He doesn't
Someone
mean...
else who has a gun will see this and be like, they're going to be like, I got mine too. They're going to be like, I got mine too. Bang. That's all that's going to happen. They're just going to be like, I got mine too, and then you're dead.
Yeah, it's... Don't ever pull out your gun unless you're going to use it.
Unless you're going to use it.
Once you get in the ready fire position, you're ready. And as soon as you draw, boom. There's no more questions after that.
And then there's also the whole thing about, Rosenbaum. I don't know about Rosenbaum. I don't know how I feel.
He was a fucking idiot. I don't understand.
First off, I don't really like white people saying the N-word really rubs me the wrong way.
I would say, well, I mean, anyone really saying it.
Especially white people, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
It has a different term when white people use it. It's
yes.
like, I can taste the 1850s right now.
Yeah, really. I mean, at least he put the A instead of the ER.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a shitty cop-out, to be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just a shit. Like, I don't understand why this is a thing anymore. No. I really don't. But
I don't.
At the very least, he's fucking stupid for
saying
shoot me multiple times.
And charging a guy with a gun while saying shit.
Yeah, why would you fucking... Like, that's another thing, too, is that we don't have the context for, is how did this fucking chase even get started? Yeah. And maybe we'll find this out in the court when this goes to jury, I guess.
Hopefully the court... Maybe we might revisit this whole case when the case actually gets court, but...
Yeah, when testimonies come out, because that's what really matters, is why did the chase even start to begin with, Yeah,
I think testimony is going to be hard to get because a lot of times protesters and rioters are seen as the same people. So it's like, if there's a riot that breaks down, the protest was going on, someone's like, I was at that protest, then they have a chance of being charged with being at a riot. So
that's
and obviously no one's going to be like, I was there when he shot Rosenbaum. Like, no one's going to fucking do that.
Right? Because then now you're thinking, okay, what else are you guilty of?
Yeah.
You start any fires? Did you destroy any property?
And now that's just entrapment at that point. But
yeah. So
cops always do entrapment, so no one fucking.
Fuck yeah, they do. So that's another concerning thing. So maybe we will revisit this case down the road, whenever the fuck.
Whenever they decide to try it, if the United States doesn't collapse upon its own fucking weight before then.
Yeah. Okay. So now do you want to talk about if the country's going to last after the election?
Yeah. All right.
Because either way, one side of the aisle is going to fucking lose their minds.
Yeah. And it's going to be the left. I feel it's going to be the left.
I think. Yeah. So from my guess, I believe that Donald Trump is probably going to win the upcoming election just because the Democratic Party
Biden is so
unlikable. He's clearly a pedophile, and he's fucking all the actual leftists hate him too. Yeah. So that's another thing too.
I've seen so many leftists hate him, and the only people that like him on the left are actually on the left are the white ones, and they're getting fucking dragged through the mud. Like every white, and it's become a meme that only white leftists like Biden because of harm reduction, and every black leftist out there is just like, you're a fucking moron. No, right? He's not harm reduction. Like he's Trump with the smiley face.
Yeah, really. A white. Oh yeah, I saw the meme that says white old rapist with dementia, Game Boy Blue version of Biden, and then it said white old rapist with dementia, red version of Trump. So that's my analysis, and I think obviously if Trump wins again, you saw how people reacted when 2016, and now
there's gonna be riots
after everything.
There's gonna be country riots.
After everything that's happened, 2020 reaction to Trump is going to be way worse. Now, if Biden wins, I kind of doubt it, but I don't believe the right is going to react to the same extent.
Yes.
Because
I think, here's the thing. is because Trump has already teased fuckery. You know, he's already teased the whole postal service thing, which is I don't fucking care about the postal service. I barely use them. My fiance works for mostly UPS, and she works in the, you know, in the fucking shipping industry, and most of her clients use and they're all concerning FedEx and UPS, and she will fucking put her own weight to words with this. Don't use USPS. They're fucking terrible. Use FedEx or UPS.
Mm-hmm.
I only say that. I don't care either way. I don't see any differences. No, I don't see any harm. Use UPS or FedEx. But you can't fucking do that because UPS or USPS is what the government uses because it's the government company.
Oh, the monopoly privileges.
Yes. Well, it's not really a monopoly privileges because you got 4 major shippers now with Amazon being around. But
that's true.
We'll save Amazon for another fucking day, Bezos.
You just remembered the meme of there's a guillotine outside Bezos' mansion. There's a
guillotine outside. They set up a guillotine outside of Bezos' mansion. They set up a guillotine outside Bezos' mansion. I fucking love that one. Every time I see it, I'm like, they set up a guillotine outside of Bezos' mansion.
The compounds.
Oh, I fucking love it. But no, he's fucked with that. And he's also hinted at saying, if I lose, what happens if I don't leave the White House if I lose? And it's like, I believe that's called abuse of, or obstruction of power. I'm pretty
sure you're going to get escorted out.
It's illegal to do that. So, and I don't know. That's the only way I see a right uprising is when he doesn't move and Biden supporters and the left just decide to all get together and be like, well, time to go remove Trump.
Instead of the libertarians escorting Joe to the debate stage, it's going to be a leftist escorting Biden to the White House.
Yeah. I think at that point the leftists would just be escorting what was her name? Like
Kamala Harris?
No, fuck Kamala Harris.
Who?
It's the Social Democrat that's running.
What?
Let me get
my Dan or no?
It's like the
Hawkins,
the silver, maybe Hawkins. That's the Green Party, but
that's the Green Party. Oh,
yeah, Harry Hawkins. Harry Hawkins is a favorite candidate. I
will say all these. Okay, so everyone knows based on our 4th episode of the electoralism versus agorism, I'm not a fucking party archist, but I do.
That was our 4th episode?
Yes.
Jeez.
I know.
That was a nightmare. I'm just going to say that right now.
I know. I love seeing all these memes supporting voting for third parties.
I will say I hate it when I see people saying vote for JoJo because I've already said socially she's fucking great. Financially, I don't like her policies. I don't like a lot of the shit that she stands for because theory basis, but hold on 1 second.
No, it's alright. I love seeing all the memes on it though.
Oh, I love seeing
and the vote shaming. It's like I keep saying like, see, a vote for Joe is actually 3 votes. 1 vote for Joe, 1 vote for Biden, and 1 vote for Trump. It's a win-win-win.
Yes.
Oh, love it. It's just showing how fucking stupid people are regarding this whole idea of you only gotta vote for, these 2 parties. This is random, but I wish Bo the Fifth Column would actually mention that you can vote outside of the 2 main parties. He hasn't really done anything like that.
I think he doesn't want to get involved with partyocracy because he understands how much of a shit fest it is.
I understand that, but at the very least, you could say, look, vote whoever you want. But
actually,
just so you know, there's other options out there.
I remember him saying that he loves Trump.
What?
Oh, have you never seen that video? No, he loves Trump because he said all the people that I used to don't know if I wanted to avoid or not.
Oh yeah, they wear the red hat.
they wear the hat. So now I know that I don't like these people. And he's like, I love Donald Trump for this reason, because he's made it so clear to me if I'm going to like someone or not. I'm like, yes! I always love it, because every single time I watch this video, I see the title, I'm like, I get mad, and then I watch it, and I'm just like, I fucking love you!
Yeah, it's just something that I wish someone on his side of I don't know how to explain this. Oh boy, he just posted a new video too.
Yeah, I seen him. He was posting like a fucking madman these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, can we talk about, while we're on the topic of partyocracy and shit, fucking the first ever arguably libertarian, like, South Compass person to ever have a good base in candidacy was running on the Democratic ticket.
Wait, who?
Ballot.
Who?
Mike Gravel.
I don't even know who that name is.
He used to be an Alaskan senator. He's a Democrat, but he's like Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders never voted for, Iraq War and stuff, and Patriot, and like the shit, the shady shit that Sanders has supported, like Israel and all that.
Okay.
Gravel has been consistent.
Like sort of like a Democrat version of Ron Paul, sort of.
I would argue Sanders is more of a Democrat version of Ron Paul. I would say Gravel is just the best. Here, let me just bring him up real quick. I was trying to find the fucking Soc Dem candidate, but she's not running under the DSA. It was like the actual Communist Party of the United States kind of thing. I don't fucking know. There's I don't know. It's partyocracy. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right.
It's a bunch of bitching at each other.
I will say the left, the mainstream Democrats, what they really wanted was like a Bernie Sanders and AOC campaign.
A lot of people want that.
That now, if that was on the ballot, I have no doubt in my mind they would win. No doubt.
Oh yeah, that's your Trump Pence for the that's the left Trump Pence essentially.
Right. So, but now they got this bullshit version of that, which was Biden Harris. What?
This might be the only year he'd be able to run.
What? Gravel?
Gravel. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring up his Wikipedia. Oh, he ran in 2008 as well. Born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts, French-Canadian immigrant parents, Gravel served in the U.S. Army in West Germany, and later graduated from. Yeah, he was born in 1930.
Oh damn, he's fucking old.
Yeah, he's 90 years old.
Holy shit. By the time he gets in the office, he might die. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was hoping he'd win this year, so that way he might actually be able to enact some good shit before he dies. And later graduated from the Columbia University School of General Studies, moved to Alaska in the 50s, became a real estate developer and entering politics. He served in the Alaska House of Representatives from 63 to 67, also became Speaker of the Alaska House. Gravel was elected to the Senate in 1968.
Damn.
As a senator, Gravel became nationally known for his forceful but unsuccessful attempts to end the draft in the war in Vietnam, and for putting the Pentagon Papers into the public record in 1971, at some risk to himself.
Okay.
He conducted an unusual campaign for the Democratic nomination in 1972 for Vice President of the United States. Then played a crucial role in obtaining congressional approval for the Trans-Alaska Pipeline in 1973. Okay, so I don't agree with him on that, but I agree with him. I understand why. That's his own territory that he needed economic, he was bringing a better economy to Alaska. And that's, that's his territory. So I'm not going to fault him for that. That's partyocracy shit. He was reelected to the Senate in 1974, gradually alienated his Alaskan constituents, and his bid for a third term was defeated in a primary election in 1980. Gravel returned to business ventures and went through difficult times, suffering corporate and personal bankruptcies amid poor health. He's been an advocate of direct democracy and national initiative. Now, if you don't know what direct democracy is, It's one voice, one vote. Every individual gets one vote. Yes or no. I'd say it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I'd say if there's ever any way to implement a libertarian state, direct democracy would be a very good way to go about it. Because yes, you get a ruling majority, but the majority is more accurate. It's not, you can't really corrupt it as easily as you can the Electoral College. Which, by the way, did you know why the Electoral College exists?
I know there's some libertarian argument for it. I don't remember what it is.
I love that you say libertarian argument for it because it gives me a chance to bully libertarians even more. It exists because everyone wanted a popular vote, with the exception of the South states. Back when the country was formed, so they began the Electoral College. That way, everything was even, and that's the whole Mason-Dixon line and everything. It was set up so that the slave states would never have power over the free states, and the free states would never have power over the slave states.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, that's the whole reason why the Electoral College existed. So now that we've already had that Civil War, and now that slavery is outlawed in the United States,
air quotes.
It's not really outlawed, and every state in the United States
all they did was expand.
Participates in the modern slavery now with prison labor.
Yeah.
The Electoral College is essentially it's worthless. It doesn't need to be kept, and we see why with how America's politics are going now. It needs to be retired. Direct democracy is only the best way to go.
We should get rid of the whole country. I mean, bottom line is
in the trash.
Just throw it in the...
We've had a good run. It's about 250-ish years. Just throw it in the trash and start again.
The thing is, I'm not opposed to that if it's on a decentralized level.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out while we're talking about it. Oh, he was actually here. He ran in 2006. Grover began and ran for the nomination for president of the United States and Democrats to promote those ideas. His campaign gained an internet following and a national attention due to forceful, humorous, and politically unorthodox debate appearances during 2007. But he found very little support in national polls in the 2008 caucuses and primaries. In 2008, he left the DNC and joined the Libertarian Party to compete for its presidential nomination and the inclusion of the National Initiative into the Libertarian platform. And at the National Convention of 2008, he failed on both accounts. And he became an executive for marijuana products company and continued to speak out on various political issues.
Alrighty then.
And then we're back up to... So yeah, Mike Gravel is probably one of the best politicians to ever live in United States history that's still alive today.
Okay.
So...
I don't know how we got on this. Oh, we're talking about the upbuilding.
I just brought him up.
No.
But anyways, returning to electoral politics since we touched up. Oh,
we got an hour. We're at an hour 52.
Are we gonna try to do a part 2, or do we want to end it here for this month?
I don't know. There might be a part 2. We'll talk about it.
You'll know if there's a part 2.
Because we'll put part 2 in the fucking title.
There'll be part 1 of this one.
Exactly. All right.
You'll know.
We'll figure it out.
See.
If you made it through this, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Donate shit. I don't really care.
We don't even have
pretty sure there's gonna be a part 2 because we're still kind of in the middle of rants right here. I just need to go fill up water and I'll be good. But
we'll figure out.
There's probably gonna be a part 2.
Anyway, lessons to be learned.
Be as long.
Like I said, go back. There's lessons to be learned on all sides about.
Especially with.
I do have something I want to say.
Well, we can save it for part 2.
Yeah.
Just remember it. Write it down if you have to. Save it for part 2.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for listening. All right. We'll officially end this now, but instead of me saying the same shit.
Just kind of half-assing it.
Right.
And just restart.
Beating around the bush.
Here in a couple minutes so I can go refill my shit.
Okay. I'm officially going to end this right now. Thanks for listening.